GTV Sports Blast from 2nd to 23rd July 2022. GTV Sports Blast, the legends live here.
Well, we're back from the break, and like I said before we did so, today we're going to be quite big and heavy with ladies football. We're going to be touching base with Morocco 2022. Sadly, Ghana is going to be there, but all the big guns will be there. The big question is why the Black Queens appear to be on a downwards decline. Even when we hosted the AFCON in 2018, we failed to make it past the group stages. There have been a lot of criticism in the direction of Mercy Tegu, who is the coach of the team. There are those who say probably when it comes to issues of players selection, she appears to have her favorites, and she's been doing that at the expense of the national team. Well, these are allegations. I have not been close to ladies football. Maybe in the coming days we might hear a bit more about that. We're also going to be touching base with the national U20 team, the ladies, of course, the Black Princesses, who will also going to be in Costa Rica in the coming weeks. This is about the 5th or 6th time, if my memory serves me right, that a team has qualified to play in the U20. The issue though is that every time they have progressed to that tournament, they have failed to make it out of the group stages. Maybe, just maybe, this year we might be lucky in there. The ladies are also going to be here today. Today it looks like everything is about the ladies. They are going to be here later this evening when they have a conversation with Mr. Kaltafo on the ladies' part of the conversation. So Betty is going to be here. Abi is going to be here. My friend at Happy FM will be here together with our own Akusia to have a conversation on maybe the ladies' side of the game. Ampem Dakwa are going to be representing us in the CAF Champions League. Last season, we had Azakes ladies making us proud. Hopefully, the ladies will be telling us more about the state of women football in Ghana. So here you go. This is what you should be expecting at 20 hours GMT or 8 p.m. later this evening. Abi will be here, Akusia will be here, Aishatu will be here together with Betty. They're going to be having a conversation with Mr. Kaltafo. And then, of course, later this weekend is the Ghana Football Awards. This is not an awards that's put together by the Ghana Football Association. There's a private team who have put this event together. It will be coming off at the Accra International Conference Center. The team is going to be here to tell us what's going to be happening there, who is going to be winning what, and what awards are available. I'm sure you probably need an invitation to be there. So if you want to be part of this, you still have another 48 hours to get in touch with organizers, or maybe they would get in touch with you to ensure that you get your tickets for the awards. I've been joined in the studio by Na Bedina. Felix Romak, a sports journalist, will probably also join me as we go on with the conversation. Like I said, today we're doing a lot of lady stuff, and it's only fair that there's a lady in the studio to help us with the conversation. Now, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great. Okay, so let's start with the big one, Morocco 2022. A lot of conversations surrounding Morocco 2022. Forgive me if I am not too much in tune with what happens with Black Queens these days. I used to follow them a lot, but in recent times,
you should come back.
I have lost my way a bit. One of my favorite ladies when it came to ladies football in the past. Everybody spoke about Alberta Saki. Everybody spoke about Adjoa Bayo and co. But there was one lady I saw, must be somewhere 96, 97. She traveled with a team to the USA and never came back. Her name was Juliana Kakraba. She was so good. I don't know what happened, but she was my favorite player in the team. In those days, before matches were played at Accra Sports Stadium, they played like a curtain raiser for most of the GPL matches. Yeah. So every time I went to the stadium, I saw her. And in those days, you know, most of them used to work with the security services. So I remember Alberta was with Gatel. Yeah. And then there were Luna ladies,
and
Postal ladies. Yeah. But I don't know where all of them are. So forgive me if I am not on top of this current generation. Is there a challenge with the team, or it is a case of other teams now catching up? Because women's football on the continent was Ghana, Nigeria, and the rest.
Yes.
But it looks like now we are not in our space again. Now we have we have been demoted completely. What is happening?
Well, there's a challenge, but
which is
I'll come to that. But then again, when you are in class 1 and you refuse to learn, arguably you will be maintained there for others to come.
Are you saying we are not learning?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough. For the Ghana women's football, arguably, like when you mention Nigeria, you mention Ghana. Now, when you mention, it will even be difficult to even mention Nigeria before South Africa now. Very, very difficult. Because they've met how many times in recent times, and it has always been South Africa, South Africa. Even the Aisha Buhari Cup, the maiden edition, a cup that was a tournament that was hosted in honor of the First Lady of the land. It was South Africa who went there. Maiden edition, they won against Nigeria. It wasn't like they gave them 1-0 win or something. They beat them completely. And so it tells you that women football on the continent is really it's coming of, like, it's really developing and growing. And so if you don't do what is necessary, you'll be left behind, and that is what has happened to Ghana. We are just not up there. When it comes to talents, we have it, no doubt about it. It is not for any reason that you see a player playing in the Ghana Women's Premier League and then move straight away to the Spanish Iberdrola, move straight to the Swedish League and all that. First, it doesn't happen that way. But currently, players are moving right from Ghana to Norway, right from Ghana to Spain and all that. It means that the talent is here. Now, when it comes to the national team, that is where the problem is. It means that we don't really develop them very well. Everybody has an interest, no matter who the team is given to. Play for my team, or be called into the national team.
When you say they have an interest, I'm not sure that the ladies are. Maybe you are suggesting that maybe players called up into the team is not on merit or something. Mostly,
I would say it's 50-50. For example, in the just ended season, like the league that we just played, you realize that when it comes to team like Faith Ladies, they have arguably the youngest squad in the league. It was their maiden edition in the Women's Premier League. They've never participated in the league before, but they have about 6 to 7 players who are very good, very, very good. They were performing. Now they did not get the chance to even sit on the bench of the national U17 team. What happened? National team was given to a team. Unfortunately for us, our league is divided, the northern part and then the southern part.
Yeah.
And so when you want to give the national team to coaches, make sure that when the head coach is coming from the north, the assistant coach will come from the south to complement, so that this one will be monitoring the northern part and the other one will be monitoring the southern part.
At least it makes sense. Yeah.
Good. So when all the technical team of the U17 or the U20 or the senior national team are coming from the same sector, then you have all the players coming from that angle. And then
because they don't get to see the players of the other side.
Yes. Yeah. And then the good players that can also add something to the team will be left behind. And so you have players complaining that because the coach is from the northern zone or the southern zone, they don't call us and all that. Meanwhile, it is not about the players. You watching from home, you going to match venues know that this particular player, she's very good and she deserves to be in the national team. But we don't have it that way. And so that, in a way,
I don't know whether when it comes to the ladies sector as well, U17, U20, the senior national team, whether there's an element of scouting there. You mentioned a very interesting one, because the league is played in zones and because we also do not get to see too much of the games on television. It would make sense that one is from the northern sector, one is from the southern sector, so that I keep tabs on players here, you keep tabs on players here, we can assemble them and make the best choices. Now, if those in charge know this, or they are supposed to know this, why don't they maybe have a listen to some of these points that you have raised?
Well, maybe it hasn't crossed their mind yet, and sometimes the players will talk about it because we go on the grounds. You want to go to their training grounds, you want to go on match venues, at match venues, you want to be there and all that. You hear them saying it. And sometimes it's not about the players. I said something, fortunately for us, last season from the second round, we had some of the games on TV and all that.
Yeah.
And so most people saw how good some of these players are, and then they started asking, why is that this girl from Faith Ladies, why is that this girl from Army Ladies is not in the national team?
And what were the answers that were given?
Well, it boils down to the fact that the coaches are from the northern, so they don't get the time to...
They don't even know them.
Yes. And so it's only when somebody somewhere will say that, oh, okay, in this match, police versus maybe Faith Ladies or immigration, I saw this player and she's this age, because they mentioned it. You have to mention their stats and all that for somebody to know that, okay, this player is that good. And then before the coach will say, okay, let me give the player a call-up. But unfortunately, before we will say, Jack, we are already out of the qualifier series that will qualify us to the World Cup. And that is not it. It has to end. You have to know that, well, they are good coaches, no doubt. But then he's limited to certain players. Besides, he's going to the northern region, comes to Kumasi, go to Techiman, and ends up at Sunyai. That is all that is privy to. Like the coach, that's where he ends when he wants to do his scouting. Sure. So coming from Takrade, Elmina, Cape Coast, Accra, Volta region, Eastern region, you not get to see the players. Meanwhile,
but those are the teams in those areas that you've mentioned are all in the southern zone.
Okay, so from Takwa, and then Takrade.
Is there a ladies team in Takwa?
Yes, I think as sports ladies, they've qualified to. Okay. They were playing the Division 1. So under 17 or U17, any player in that region would be able to make it to the under 17 squad because they are in the Division 1. They're in the Division 1. So a player playing in Division is in JHS. All JHS students we know are
plus or minus 15, 14 thereabouts. Yes. Yeah.
So a player from there would automatically make the U17 team. So the coaches are limited to certain players that they have. And I believe that they need to change that. Well, if the player, if the thing is, if a coach plays, if a coach is coaching a team like Police Ladies, and then you give the national team to him, because he's the head coach, you'll not be able to move to the north to do scouting, because at the end of the day, every match or every midweek he has a match. Who is he going to leave his team to?
Okay.
You see, so to solve that problem, I think they need scouts. One that will go around the country, tour around the country.
I don't know how the national teams of the various teams work, but I want to believe that, for example, if there is a coaching staff, one of them will be given that responsibility of going around to.
Well, I think the problem is almost all the technical people in the various national teams, they are attached to a team.
Okay.
Either you are the goalkeeper's trainer, or you are the head coach himself, or you are the physical trainer for a team. How do you leave your team? And especially when you know that now when you win the league, you will go and represent Ghana at the CAF level. Everybody wants to put their all in it, and so nobody would want to leave there, and then the team will not be performing. Okay. So I think the best thing is for them to have, because we can't say that don't give the national team to the coaches, because at the end of the day, they are very good coaches. They groom players like the Ampem Dakwa coach Nana Joe Adakwa. You know, the average age of his players is about 18 years or 19. And so that should tell you that the man is very good at grooming players. Currently, there's a player in the national team aside Janet Ejiri, whom I keep saying that if you want to call the national team, she's the first player you call before you add the rest to her. Then you come to a player like Grace Asantua. She moves straight to Spain from Ampem Dakwa Ladies. And last 2 seasons she was the.
Are these players part of the national team?
They are part of the national team.
Okay.
For the national team, the issues are many. We are here to talk about it, so we definitely talk.
So that's where I wanted to focus the conversation on. That's for U20, U17. They've been doing their best. We're going to be talking about Costa Rica as well. A lot of people. I remember when we started promoting, putting the promo on television. That Ghana. Are these the Black Queens?
No, these are U17. U17. That is Coach Malam Nuhu Baba, and then
so this is Black
Ghana's best goalkeeper ever. She's the goalkeeper's trainer for.
Are these U17 players?
These are U17.
Okay, this is the team that the Moroccans complained about.
Yes.
And they still ended up beating us. Okay, that's fine. We'll touch base with the youth sides, but for now we want to focus on the Alcon and see how it goes there. But as we get to see pictures of the U17 team, the U17 team, that's the Black Maidens, they failed to progress. They lost out in the last eliminator against Morocco. So Morocco, proceeding at the expense of Ghana. I recall that we took a 2-0 lead in Accra, and everyone thought it was fine until we went to Morocco, and I've read a lot of stories about what happened there and how the Moroccans managed to get one over us. But we'll come to that later. Let's still stay with the seniors, because I mean, next week, 2nd of July, which is just this Saturday, we're going to be seeing if you like, all the big guns in African football converge in Morocco. Everyone is there, but Ghana is not there. And I was saying at the start of the program that, I mean, gone are the days where Ghana was almost always there. For some reason, we are not there anymore. So a lot of come up. Like I said, I may not really be on top of everything in the ladies' space for obvious reasons, but you are there. Let's first start by looking at if we can get to see the nations that have qualified, and would center a bit of the conversation on that. So the competition is going to be played in Morocco starting this Saturday. That one we know. So let's look at the teams that are there. We're going to be taking every single group and have a conversation on that as well. Morocco, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Uganda make up Group A. Let's see Group B and see who is there. So Group B has Cameroon, Zambia, Tunisia, and Togo. Okay. And let's see Group C. Group C it's only 3 groups.
Yeah.
So Group C has Nigeria, South Africa, Burundi, and Botswana. Okay, so one of the first things that I see when I have a look at all the 3 groups of nations that have qualified for the AFCON is that they are spread. They do not all come from a particular region. So let me start the very first question on whether the qualifiers are played in zones. Are the qualifiers played in zones? Because I see countries like Burundi and Botswana, and I don't think they are better than us.
Well, that has been the cry of most of women football lovers.
The qualifiers are played in zones.
Yes.
Can we get that? So, for example, all the 16 teams in West Africa have to go through a certain qualifying phase. All the teams in North Africa have to go through a qualifying phase. All the teams in East Africa, that's why I see Uganda and Burundi and those nations there. And then the teams in Southern Africa also have to go through a qualifying zone. Okay.
Okay, so most journalists in West Africa feels that they want to cripple them, in a sense that in a tournament that you want your best, because the one who gets to win, or the final 4 of this competition gets to represent the continent at the world stage. Yeah. And so you would also want to have your best
at the world stage.
At the world stage, because I don't think UEFA will just sit there and then pair certain countries, and then at the end of the day, they will have teams like Moldova representing them at the World Cup. It won't happen. Now, when you come to CAF, you have Ghana playing against Nigeria in the first qualifiers. And so whoever gets knocked out is out of the competition for good.
And they say that all the talents are in West Africa.
Good. And so Ghana gets to knock out Nigeria. Ghana is not gone yet. You have to go and play against Ivory Coast. That is why you're not seeing Ivory Coast too at the AFCON. Because after beating Ghana, you have to go through Ivory Coast and then play against them as well. Then you beat Ivory Coast before you qualify. So West Africa will not have all the best teams or their best teams to represent them at the AFCON. And that is one thing I think CAF needs to look at, because it's not about favoring anybody. We want to have our best at the World Cup. It is different that you give Ghana a team like Burundi and then they won against Ghana and they are gone. Then we know that Burundi has done something, or they are better than Ghana at this time around, and then they are gone. But I think CAF needs to look at this zonal pairing. It's not really.
What about those who also argue that in as much as the zonal system appear, and I see that it's affecting the male side of the game as well, especially for U17, U20, and all of that. But what about those who also argue that if you want to be with the best, you've got to beat the best?
Yes, that is right. But like I said, there are other in South Africa, in SAFA, let me say it that way, or COSAFA. The other good teams is not South Africa alone.
I see Botswana there.
Good. And so you should know that even if you compare Nigeria against Botswana, and then Botswana can still qualify ahead of Nigeria. So it should be that instead of the zonal pairing, and that one will not let us have the best of. Automatically, Nigeria and South Africa are going to qualify from this group. No two ways about that. But whether South Africa will beat Nigeria or Nigeria will beat South Africa is the big game that the world will be looking at. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But then again, you also want to have your best players competing at the AFCON. Because we are not the only continent playing tournaments this year or next month. There's women's Euros as well. And then when you look at the teams that have qualified and the players playing in it, you know
so
that
you are of the opinion that we shouldn't have a situation where the qualifiers are played in groups,
No,
in zones. Sorry,
no.
it should be anybody, anywhere,
No,
so that
yes.
the very best from the continent. Because I don't see how Burundi is there and we are not there. I don't see how Togo is there and we are not there. Come on, but Togo are from West Africa. It means that they possibly
they didn't pass through Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and then Ghana. They didn't pass that route.
Okay, so they were drawn in a different, group, and then they were lucky to have gone through. Because if I see, Tunisia, come on, Zambia is there. Zambia, I've seen them make some headway. Cameroon are a pretty strong team.
Zambia represented the continent at the Olympics Games.
I remember in one of their games, I think it was against China.
Barbara will not sit
there's a lady there who is so good. Yeah, she scored a hat trick in one of their games, if I recall. But Cameroon, Zambia, Tunisia too. Ghana should be good enough to be there. But well, these guys have qualified to the African competition on merit. This is Group A. The group that almost always has a host is in Group A. So Morocco. What about Burkina Faso? Burkina Faso is also from West Africa. I see Burkina Faso, I see Senegal, I see Togo, I see Nigeria. All of them are from ECOWAS. All of them are from West Africa.
Reason why people are complaining.
So they are better than us.
No, because they didn't pass through the Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast route.
Who are we paired with?
Nigeria, Ivory Coast.
In the same group?
Yes.
So
no, it's not even a group. Like they pair Nigeria, Ghana, you play, you win, and then Ivory Coast versus another country.
Yeah.
So they won. And then Nigeria also won against us, so the two of them.
So maybe if we had been paired against Togo, we would have qualified.
That one there, we are going to cry.
Okay, so we were not lucky with the parents, and we ended up being paired with Nigeria. Nigeria, we know, are a powerhouse when it comes to ladies football, not just in West Africa but on the continents. We'll see how all these 12 nations perform. But again, I recall when at the men's level as well, when we had never qualified for the World Cup. And we almost always used to, perform relatively well in the African Cup. Someone said, before you qualify to play at the World Cup, you need to put in your best, you need to give of your best. Now, your best would come from the talents that are available, possibly on the local scene, and the talent that are coming from outside. I noticed that these days we have a fair number of our players. I see them all over Europe. I see some in Spain, some are as far as Serbia. I've seen some in Norway, Sweden,
Jordan,
and places like that.
Yes.
So obviously the talent here is not that bad. But do you think that the talents that we have here, compared to what you see in other parts of the continent, like the 12 nations that we saw there, do you think that our talents comparatively may be better, or maybe the others are better than us?
When I start to mention the list of players we have outside,
there are quite a number.
How talented. It's not about just playing outside. How talented they are, how good they are performing, their stats. People might even go on demonstration. And
a lot of them left here. They left Ghana to go to Europe.
Straight from the local league.
So why are they not called up for the national team?
That is where the problem is. And sometimes we'd want to blame our coaches. And sometimes we have to spare them some slack. You have Sandra Uswansa, a lady who scored goal in the Ghana Women's Premier League and was nominated for Puskas. It's not as if it ended there. Then she was signed by a team from Sweden. She went there and she was playing in the
Is Sandra the lady who came through the Airtel program about 4 or 5 years ago?
Sandra Uswansa.
She used to be the captain. I don't know if she's the one. But there was a lady who was with the captain of one of the teams in Kumasi or Sunyai.
She was the one.
She came to the Airtel. Airtel used to have a program. I think it was Airtel Challenge or something. I can't really remember. About 5 or 6 years ago. And they used to get a lot of young. And I think she was the captain of one of the teams. She spoke very well. She understood the game. I think she got an opportunity to go to Europe. I can't remember where.
Okay.
And I haven't heard of her again.
Well, when the players started traveling outside, the rate at which they rise so fast, and then the probability of our national team coaches giving them an invite is very low. Because one, there's no money. I don't know if you are the only poor footballing nation.
When you say there's no money, what do you mean?
To give buy tickets for them to come. That has always been our problem.
So the ladies are ready.
They are ready.
But
Very, very
the
ready.
tickets are a problem.
Yes. I remember when we were playing the Olympic qualifiers, a coach and a journalist at RPFM has to buy tickets for some of the players to come. That is a fact. Abambila's ticket.
Okay, I didn't know about this.
Yes, Abambila's ticket to fly all the way from Sweden to Ghana was bought by someone at RPFM. Yes.
The FA do not have money to buy tickets for the ladies. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the coach needs the players. That
is not beyond that.
Yes.
That the coach would call
the
these
ministry
players.
or the FA said we can only provide 3 tickets for the players outside.
So we have to go with a local.
Yes.
And the locals too, with the greatest respect, are not of a certain level.
Yes, because at that time we are only playing 40 matches per season. The whole year we play 40 matches.
Okay.
In the league. Okay, and FIFA is telling you that before a player would be of standard to participate in any of its competition, then you have to play at least 40 plus matches, and you don't even get to play 20
Yeah, there are not too many teams playing in the ladies football league
in Ghana.
Yes, because you play in zones, and if you are playing in zones, the number of matches will be limited. Yes,
8 in the southern zone, 8 in the northern zone.
So that's 14 matches you are playing in a season.
And so this season, last season, it was 10-10.
So you're still playing 18 matches, home and away?
Yes.
Or they don't play home and away there?
Home and away.
Yeah.
So we are still not up there yet, but we are
you're trying.
There. Yes.
So it's let me get this understanding. The talent is there.
Yes.
The players are there.
Yes.
But financing these players who may be available to play for the national team is a challenge.
Good.
If I understand what you have said.
Very on point. You get it. And then came another issue with some of the senior players and then the FA. Because the senior players feel like, no disrespect to the Black Stars.
I hear some of them are very vocal.
Yes, no disrespect, because players that have traveled all the way from Ghana to study in the state, they have their degree, they have their masters and all that. You need to treat them right. Because these people, they go and then their mind becomes so wide open. They will not talk like the normal Ghanaian who is playing football here and they want to say that, okay, play, I'll give you money. When they come, they want to know what they want to have.
Of course.
And all that. And so if you feel like they are just women, they will not tolerate that. They won't. The likes of Elizabeth Ado as captain, the likes of Linda Ishen.
All of them ply their trade outside.
Yes, the likes of Jennifer Kujo. And for Jennifer Kujo, that girl, you know, you don't always get to play in the National Women's Soccer League in America. No, you dare not. Because for them, their focus is, let's make sure that our players comes first. Yeah. So in their league, it's about their players. So when you are young and then you pass through the college and all that, when you are done, you want to play football and you are from outside their country, you have to go and look for a team to play. Before you get to play in the NWSL, it will take you a miracle. And so for Jennifer to be able to move or wave her way through,
it means that she's good.
She's very good. She's been at the World Cup, the junior.
What can we do to, because what that means, the issue you're raising throws up a very interesting conversation. The players are readily available. Yeah. We can't get money to get them in. What that would mean is that we would end up calling players who may not be of a certain level.
Yes.
And if you end up calling players who may not be of a certain level, coming up against the nations that we have seen who have qualified, then we are not even going to be qualifying, because the top players will not be around to ensure that we qualify from Africa and go to play other worlds.
Sure. And so when you get the chance to call the top players as well, treat them right. The girls have been complaining. Sometimes, you know, there's a way if this women football thing, even if you are a coach, you have to know how you go about it. Because I've been a witness to a team that a coach has prepared. They are going to travel all the way to Elmina to play. And then all of a sudden, about 3, 6, 7 players came and they said, Coach, we can't travel. You can't play because we are not well.
Because there's no. I'm told there is little or no money in ladies football.
No, it's not even about the money. If a female player tells you she's not well, you should know why she's not well.
I get it.
Good. And so 7 players are out of the team that you have prepared to go and travel, and they are telling you this. There are some who can say that I'll play. No matter what, I'll play, because they want to play for you.
Sure.
So it's about managing the players. So you just don't go and talk to them.
Let me ask you this very delicate one. When I watch the ladies game in Europe, for example, this week I was watching a friendly game between Sweden and Brazil. I think it was a friendly match, and the stadium was virtually full.
Yes.
The ladies are, let me put it that way, they are an exceptional breed. Okay, they have all their little issues.
You saw the captain's goal.
I watched the goal. I watched the match. It was 3-1 or so. I watched everything. One of the things that I want to ask, why do we have a situation where, in our case, and maybe you can help me, because when I watch the game abroad, I see that most of the coaching staff are women. So they understand, they know how to relate with them. But when you have a situation where virtually everybody in our parts, I see that virtually all the technical teams, the few that I've seen, I don't know about all, but I've been to 1 or 2 places to watch some of their games. I see that most of the time the technical team is made of men.
Yes.
How do they relate with them? They might not understand some things.
Good. So you need, you as a coach, even if you are a male coach, so you have to put some respect on the name of Coach Yusuf Bazigi for doing this for 19 years. Okay.
Is he still with Azakis?
Yes, he can't go anywhere. That's where he's going to go, unless he wants to go to Europe.
Okay, I think he's a Takrady man.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's lived there.
And sometimes, when there's Gusa games, he used to train with the girls, the girls team. So he's been coaching them. Okay, so the reason is that now FIFA and CAF, what they are doing is, if you have a female team, then your technical staff should be women. But now you can't move all of them out, because in Ghana we don't really have
female coaches.
Yeah. Those that we have are now coming up. The Baba Cornelius, the Boates and all that. They are now coming. And so the men are there for now. But if you qualify to the CAF Women's Champions League now, your technical team has to be women, with the head coach, if he's a man. For now, they will agree, but the team has to have a lot of women. That is what they are trying.
But it's not like that in our case.
That's what CAF is now bringing.
Okay.
That was why one of Azaka's ladies signed Yokaki when they went to the CAF Champions League last season, and so CAF was requesting for it. The issue has been that we don't have the women. They are now coming up, and so that is why you see it that way. So once they get the knowledge, once they are up for it, I think we will get it.
I recall this was the final of the 2018 Alcon here in Accra. I remember we showed this game, and I remember the South African goalkeeper very well. I think she was brought in to help with some penalties and all of that, but the Nigerians were just better, and they've been better. The Nigerians have won this competition, 7-8 times thereabouts. Equatorial Guinea have also won, I think, twice or so. All the others are just chasing and chasing and chasing. The South Africans are pumping a lot of money into the development of the sport over there.
Yes,
maybe it's an area that we should also consider.
Yeah, they have their girls. Most of them are now in Europe playing for Atletico Madrid, playing for Glasgow and all that. So it's not like they're just playing for the Sundowns and all that. Even when you look at their squad, I think they have about 6 Sundown players in the squad that are going to the Alcon. The rest are all foreign-based players.
Sundowns won the CAF Champions League when they beat Hazakis.
So it's just normal for them to have the 6 players, because those players that are playing for them are also going outside and they are back to the team and all that. So they are very experienced. Very, very.
Okay, maybe someday when we pump a lot of money into the team, and when the team is of a certain level, we can perform with these guys. But I've been joined by my colleague, sports journalist Felix Rumark has joined us. I would want to take the male perspective of the ladies game. When we're talking about the men's football, we don't bring the ladies in. When we're talking about ladies football, the men too want to say something. So let me get Felix to also, I know Felix follows a lot of things. He's all over the place, traveling, watching football here, and then maybe he'd also have a few things to say about our ladies football. Felix, what is happening there? It looks like now we are not in the conversation, Kra.
Well, we are not in the conversation because we have failed to plan, especially with the women's national teams. I think that one thing that one positive thing that I will give credit to this current FA is the way they've organized the Women's Premier League. For the first time in so many years, I extensively followed the Women's League, both zones, and I must say that kudos to the organizers of the Women's League. They did very, very well. And on a personal level, I'm happy that my team, Ampem Dakwa ladies, won the double.
You leave that cry and you supported
yeah,
team.
I've been supporting them for years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was even at the stadium.
I hope you support with...
I'm planning to do that. I'm planning to reserve some cash for them because they currently need money because they need to participate at the WAFO tournament, and then from there they can book a ticket to the CAF Women's Champions League to be held in Morocco.
So they need to go through WAFO again.
Yes, WAFO again, and then they come to the CAF Women's Champions League. And even with that, after the league, the Sunday, they needed to make sure that they've applied for a club licensing to make sure that when they get into the Champions League, they book qualification. So it's all good. We saw what Azakes ladies got in terms of support. A lot of corporate bodies came to support them through the WAFO tournament, and even at the tournament in it was Egypt, right, where they play Sundance. Yeah. So they had a lot of support, and I'm urging Ghanaians that the same support that Azakes ladies got when they made Ghana proud in Africa, and then in the West African tournament, Ampem Dakwa ladies will surely get the same. So for me, there have been improvements when it comes to the organization of the Women's Premier League, because now even there is a lower division of the Women's League where you need to book qualification from the division level, and then you get into the Premier League. But when it comes to the national team, I think that the handlers are not serious with it.
The handlers, as in who?
As in the FA, because it is their responsibility to make sure that the mileage that the male national team and then the Black Stars are getting, there is no way they can get equal mileage. But at least if the women's game or the women's national team are getting at least 10-20% of the mileage that the women's game are getting, I think that we will go.
So why are they not getting it?
I don't know why they've lost.